freshman, right? Neil McGarry, everybody! These guys. I owe them so much money. Anyway, I hope everybody can hear me. Puberty was 25 years ago, but as you can tell, I'm still waiting for my voice to change. When I was younger, I hoped that I would grow up, to sound like Barry White, but instead I turned out more like Betty White. It's very young and to be a golden girl. Anyway, I'm trying to stand up because, I'm doing things right now in my life that scare me. And this kind of scares me because I'm not good at coming up with stuff on the fly. I'm terrible at that. I was driving before and someone yells at me, "Hey, you drive like my 80-year-old mother." And I'm like, "Oh yeah? Well, so is your mother." Ran into somebody from high school last summer. That's what you want to do with your vacation. So, I don't know what to say to him. So I'm like, "Oh, what do you do?" Which was a mistake because he's like, "Well, I'm an investment counselor and I manage portfolios totaling $10.7 gazillion. And then it's my turn, and I'm like, gotta come up with something. Can't say I'm out of work. I'm a cloudologist. Well, what does that involve? I study the size of clouds, the shape of clouds, the weight of... Because the earth never opens up and swallows you whole when you need it. Anyway, so I'm doing things that scare me. So this November, I'm going to be voting Republican. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually voting Green Party. Where liberal dreams go to die. I actually am a liberal and a Democrat, but I think that voting for a Democrat is kind of like having sex with somebody you feel sorry for. You feel noble at the time when you're doing it, but you always regret it later. And the person never stops calling you. No, John Kerry, I told you. It was just that once. It didn't mean anything. I used to think I was a diehard liberal until I went to San Francisco for the first time, and man, I am an amateur. I mean, everybody there, they're angry about this, or they're protesting that. I crossed this picket line to get into a Barnes & Noble, and the protesters start shouting at me, "Corporate whore, corporate whore," which is the first time I've ever been called corporate. And even the restaurants out there have this liberal bullshit going on, where everyone's trying to one-up each other. Is this food organic? Is it locally grown? Is it fair trade, free trade, grass-fed? And I'm like, if it's been on the floor for less than 3 minutes, I'll take it. So, things that scare me. I quit my job, and that's scary, not having an income. I mean, I'm not starving or anything, as long as I can still get free meat samples at the food court. I consider Diet Coke a food group, so. But I tried to get fired from my last job, so I could collect unemployment. But I didn't really know how to approach that, so I went with my strengths. Turns out that having phone sex with your coworkers doesn't get you fired. It just makes you really popular on those long Friday afternoons. So I'm job hunting, and the part that really pisses me off the most is the personal references you have to give so the employers can call people to know you and find out what you're like. Because I don't know what these people are going to say about me. It could be anything. I mean, I can just hear someone being like, "Neil McGarry, haven't heard that name since the last Amber Alert." I knew him when he was a woman, Great lady, great guy. Or is he out of rehab already? I knew that third time would be the charm. Or Neil McGarry, does that bitch owe you money too? That's my time. Thanks very much.